The New York Times reports that back in 2015, then Louisiana state legislator Mike Johnson, a self-righteous prick, had a decidedly different take on Donald Trump's morals and suitability for higher office. This is what Speaker Johnson said back in 2015. Quote, "The thing about Donald Trump is that he lacks the character and the moral center we desperately need again in the White House. F you." He's saying Obama, this is 2015. He's saying Obama lacked character and a moral center, right? Trump lacks the character and the moral center we desperately need again. You know, I have my troubles with Obama, but the man had a moral center and character. I'm sorry. Compared to the rest of these candidates and Bernie, and maybe Elizabeth Warren. Mike Johnson says back in 2015, "I'm afraid Trump would break more things than he fixes. He's a hothead by nature, and that is a dangerous trait to have in a commander-in-chief. I just don't think he has the demeanor to be president." Speaker Johnson, back in 2015, continues. This is back when he's a state legislator, fighting abortion. His wife and he are doing a podcast where she's talking about gay marriage leading to bestiality. He says back in 2015, "What bothered me most was watching the face of my exceptional 10-year-old son, Jack. At one point, when he looked over at me with a sort of confused disappointment, as the leader of all polls, Donald Trump, boasted about calling a woman a fat pig." Yeah. But then suddenly Donald Trump becomes president, and Mike Johnson, the creep, becomes Donald Trump's election denial point man. Flying around the country on Air Force One, Johnson sings a different song. Quote, "When I got to know him personally, shortly after we both arrived in Washington in 2017, I grew to appreciate the person that he is and the qualities about him that made him the extraordinary president that he was." This is Mike Christy Johnson talking about Donald Trump's extraordinary qualities. Show me a conservative. Show me a man with conservative principles, and I'll show you a man who's completely full of shit. I'll show you Speaker Mike Johnson flying around on Air Force One, tempted by all the riches he stupidly, this backwater hick from Louisiana, thinks Donald Trump actually has. As for Trump's lies about the 2020 election being stolen from him, Johnson says, quote, "I've talked to him personally about it. He just felt like he was cheated in that election, and I think that's a core conviction of his. And when I say we should take him at his word on that, I mean, he believes it. Yeah, psychopaths believe a lot of things. Charles Manson thought clouds were raining fire. We should take Charles Manson's word on that. We should believe him and not convict." New reports coming out of NPR and Rolling Stone magazine say that the creep, Speaker Mike Johnson, belongs to a right-wing Christian organization that wants to eliminate separation of church and state while installing what amounts to an anti-democratic Christian theocracy here in the United States. Among the several flags outside the new speaker's office is an appeal to heaven flag. It represents the new apostolic Reformation, which calls upon its followers to seize the commanding heights of society by taking over politics, government, media, schools, and the arts, and then guiding all these institutions towards biblical teachings, their version of biblical teachings. This is one of the flags, along with the Confederate flag, that was carried into the Capitol on January 6 by the insurrectionists. But let's respect their beliefs as well. right? The people carrying the Confederate flag. We should respect their beliefs and not make them feel inferior. This group, the New Apostolic Reformation, their group is led by a Christian pastor named Dutch Sheets. And I know it's not cotton sheets. I think that's what they wear at their rallies. I think white Dutch sheets. Well, anyway, NPR reports that some believe no other religious figure had a bigger hold over the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6. So the Speaker of the House has in front of his office the New Apostolic Reformation Appeal to Heaven flag, which some of the insurrectionists carried into the Capitol on January 6th, breaking into the office he currently holds, the Speaker's office, looking to hang Nancy Pelosi. That's who this creep, Mike Johnson, worships with, Dutch Sheets, who is the religious figure behind the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Dutch Sheets preaches what is called the Seven Mountain Mandate, in which society has 7 mountains that Christians should control. Those 7 mountains are business, education, entertainment, family, government, media, and religion. I think my people are supposed to control all those mountains. I think you got that wrong, Dutch. Mike Johnson represents Louisiana. So does this Republican congressman, Clay Higgins. He's a former ultra-right-wing police officer who rose to political prominence in Louisiana after he drew criticism for violating the constitutional rights of alleged gang members on his TV show. Yeah, he was a cop in Louisiana. He became famous. They just used to follow him around with a GoPro, arresting people of color, and big entertainment in Louisiana. Here in Manhattan, we have Lincoln Center. In Louisiana, certain parts of Louisiana, they like to watch this cretin drive around violating the constitutional rights of black people. Little different values. The head of the FBI, Christopher Wray, testified before the House Homeland Security Committee, where Congressman Clay Higgins presented evidence that January 6 was a false flag operation and that the people who stormed the Capitol were actually FBI agents dressed like MAGA. Here is a visually disturbed FBI director, Christopher Wray, dealing with the emotionally disturbed Congressman Clay Higgins.
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying
not.
no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violence orchestrated by FBI sources or agents.
Are you familiar with you know what a ghost vehicle is? Director of the FBI certainly should. You know what a ghost bus is?
A ghost bus?
Ghost bus.
I'm not sure I've used that term before.
Okay. Well, it's pretty common in law enforcement. It's a vehicle that's used for secret purposes. It's painted over. These 2 buses in the middle here, they were the first to arrive at Union Station on January 6th, 0500. I have all this evidence. I'm showing you a tip of this iceberg.
Mr. Chairman.
These 2 buses
Mr.
were
Chairman.
painted completely white.
Point of order.
Point of order.
This is Clay Higgins, Louisiana congressman, former police officer in Louisiana, talking to the head of the FBI, presenting evidence that the Capitol was stormed on January 6th by FBI agents dressed like MAGA supporters. Well, the chairman of the committee tried to cut Clay Higgins off, but not before the Louisiana congressman snuck in a not-so-veiled threat against FBI Director Christopher Wray's physical safety.
I think your time is expired, Mr.
I note that other members across the aisle have been granted time, and I object to my question being closed. This is a very significant hearing, Mr. Chairman, and these buses are nefarious in nature and were filled with FBI informants dressed as Trump supporters. and deployed onto our Capitol on January 6th. Your day is coming,
made
Mr.
your
Ray.
point, Mr. Higgins.
Your day is coming. Dressed like Trump supporters. What, you'd knock out 5 teeth and gain 200 pounds? I don't think the FBI can move that quickly. So thank you, Congressman Clay Higgins from Louisiana. Stupid, and dangerous. Then it was Marjorie Taylor Greene's turn. As I've said, fascism has its charms. Marjorie Taylor Greene is getting angrier and angrier. She bet the wrong horse. She thought Kevin McCarthy was there to stay. She thought he was going to be Speaker, and she thought she had it made. But now that he's gone, she's being marginalized. Johnson doesn't want any part of her. She's associated with Kevin McCarthy. She got thrown out of the Freedom Caucus. So she's being marginalized, but she's a malignant narcissist. And as all malignant narcissists say, I will be heard. Every malignant narcissist says, you will hear what I have to say. Here she is screaming at the FBI director, Christopher Wray, because he's not investigating Congressman Rashida Tlaib's ties to Hamas.
I would hope to God that intifada and jihad and terrorists in our very country would be something that you would prioritize instead of a 3-hour event that happened at the Capitol nearly 4 years ago, Mr. Wray. I yield back my time, Mr. Chairman.
A 3-hour event that happened nearly 4 years ago in the Capitol. What happened? Just a 3-hour event? You going to the DNC and the RNC with some suspicious packages? Is that the event you're talking about? Or you giving tours to January 6ers on January 5th? Is that what I don't know what you're talking about. A 3-hour event. A Bruce Springsteen concert?